To my non-tokusatsu viewers, what if I told you this Japanese superhero inspired this anime? Or that this villain group pays homage to this? Believe it or not, these spandex-wearing superhero and kaiju shows have inspired your favorite anime and manga in more ways than one, whether it be the poses, the themes, the aesthetics, or all of the above. Today we're going to be talking about tokusatsu and how it continues to inspire our favorite works to this day, and how, believe it or not, everything's not a Jojo reference, but everything could be a tokusatsu reference. So, if you've watched my video so far, you've probably heard me say so-and-so show was inspired by tokusatsu. Now what is tokusatsu? It's a Japanese term that refers to live-action films or television programs that make heavy use of practical special effects. As a point of reference, Power Rangers, Star Wars, and also Doctor Who are shows that are created with this medium. A lot of the biggest anime and manga titles from the 90s and now were created by people who grew up in the 60s and 70s, the decades when the three biggest tokusatsu hero franchises in Japan were born: Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai. Let's start with Ultraman, the giant hero from outer space. The show focuses on a Science Special Search Party, or the SSSP, a specialized force that is tasked with investigating and combating threats from aliens and kaiju. Among one of the members is Shin Hayata, who can transform into the giant alien superhero, Ultraman, a secret he keeps from his colleagues. Ultraman and its predecessor show, Ultra Q, lit this creative spark inside all of our favorite manga authors. It was the show that introduced them to so many things. The first time they've seen eerie creatures with designs that go from odd to grotesque, a non-human who looks and fights like a superhero, and not to mention the dreamlike cinematics that pay tribute to French cinema. I don't know what kinds of science fiction shows were on TV before Ultraman debuted. Many manga authors have cited Ultraman as one of their inspiration for their series. Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, has cited the kaiju designs from Ultraman as one of his inspiration for the creatures he designed for Yu-Gi-Oh! Dandadan is filled with Ultraman references, with its opening actually referencing Ultraman, and this thing is pretty much bolt-on from Ultraman. One of the biggest anime titles to have been heavily influenced by Ultraman is perhaps Neon Genesis Evangelion. Besides it being an awesome superhero show, Ultraman featured a lot of references and imagery from the Christian Bible, and the director, Hideaki Anno, found them really cool, and so he decided to feature a lot of these references in Evangelion as well. Not because he himself was religious, but because he saw it on Ultraman. The Akio Jisoji directed episodes of Ultraman have also influenced Anno's visual direction, which is obvious in the way he uses backgrounds and low angles to help emphasize the emotion of a scene. Now I can go on about Hideaki Anno and his love for Ultraman, but that would take up hours. Ultraman continued making more installments as the years went by, solidifying their place on Japanese TV, and while that's going on, a mangaka was brought in to help create another hero that would rival Ultraman in terms of popularity. And that man is Shotaro Ishinomori, the man who introduced to Japan the idea of cyborgs, humans whose physiology are modified with built-in artificial components. Ishinomori came up with a grasshopper-themed hero named Kamen Rider, reusing many of the ideas he used in Cyborg 009. Kamen Rider is about a man named Takeshi Hongo, who is kidnapped by an evil organization named Shocker and remodeled into a cyborg, but before he could be brainwashed for villainy, he is rescued by one of Shocker's scientists. With his new gift and curse, he engages in a never-ending fight against Shocker and their army of cyborg experiments. Now, unlike Ultraman, Kamen Rider felt like a horror science fiction, while still being treated as a superhero show made for kids, and that made it one of the coolest shows ever at the time. Kamen Rider's number 1 and number 2 did these cool poses, shouted the word in order to transform. They also shouted their attack names, becoming one of the earliest series that helped pioneer the trope of shouting attack names. Now, there are a lot of things that have referenced Kamen Rider. Do you remember that organization named Shocker that kidnaps people and turns them into cyborgs? Guess what popular series paid homage to that organization? That's right, Dragon Ball's Red Ribbon Army. The main characters in Kamen Rider were referred to as number 1 and number 2, the same way the Red Ribbon Army gave a number designation for their androids and cyborgs. And just recently, we have Gamma number 1 and number 2, who are clearly inspired by Shotaro Ishinomori's Cyborg 009 and Kamen Rider number 1 and number 2. And you've probably seen this pose before, and if you have, well, it's a reference to Kamen Rider number 1's pose. And in some anime, you'll see characters doing poses of other Kamen Riders. And also, I think Kamen Rider made red scarves cool. Ultraman and Kamen Rider helped spark a henshin boom, or transforming superhero boom, in the 70s. And Toei continued to pump out a lot of spandex fighting heroes, to the point where television was saturated with them. It was time for something new, and once again, Shotaro Ishinomori was asked to create something new, but not of a solo hero, but a team. And at this point in time, more households had televisions that could broadcast in color. Ishinomori decided to take advantage of that fact and created a very colorful team of superheroes. Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, the very first Super Sentai series. If after watching this clip you say to yourself, this looks like Power Rangers, well, you're not entirely wrong. The very first Power Rangers series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, uses clips from the 16th Super Sentai series, Kyoru Sentai Ranger, and that's why you see a lot of Tokyo in the background, because it recycles clips from its Japanese source show. There are a lot of modern day anime that feature a straight up parody of Sentai, or is actually a Sentai series itself, but the idea of color-coded heroes changed the way toy companies market anime. If you've ever read the Saint Seiya manga, you'll notice that everyone wears a white undersuit, and that Seiya and Hyoga's color schemes are pretty much the same. But in the anime adaptation, Seiya has a red undersuit, and Hyoga wears blue. By doing this, Bandai, one of the sponsors of Saint Seiya, was able to successfully market the series. I don't know what their toy sales were like, but colors do play a role in sensory marketing. And that's not all. Everyone has a favorite color, and more often than not, people's favorite characters are wearing the colors they like, and it's probably why I tend to like the Red Ranger. And in some cases, someone's favorite character will influence their favorite color. But after growing up, I prefer a character's vibes, regardless of what color clothes they wear. And that might be the same for you too. Regardless, color-coded characters really helped our parents a lot. We could just say, I like the Blue Ranger or the Red Ranger, or Sailor Mercury, she's the blue one. Now there are so many other tokusatsu programs that have influenced manga authors in some way, but I just wanted to talk about the big three in this video, and how if after this video you want to check out tokusatsu, I recommend Kamen Rider Geats, which you can stream for free on Tubi, and you can also buy the Blu-ray box set on Shout Factory. If you like Squid Games, you'll like Kamen Rider Geats. There's a game called the Desire Grand Prix, where players have to protect the city from something called a Jamato. They also have to compete with each other in survival games. Each player must keep playing until they die, or until they're eliminated. And that's all for today's video. If you've seen tokusatsu before, or if you've only seen Power Rangers, let me know what your favorite series is. Till next time.